The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi children, welcome back. Hope you all are safe and healthy. I believe that you watch all the classes that is uploaded in our channel and you are updating yourself. Complete your work on time and study well. In the previous class, we discussed on inertia, different types of inertia and Newton's first law of motion. Today, we will be discussing about a new topic, momentum. Have you heard of this term momentum? No, isn't it? Yes. What is momentum? Momentum is the characteristic feature of moving objects. So from the word itself it is clear, to possess momentum, what is the condition? That object should move. Okay, momentum is the feature of moving objects. So to possess momentum, that object should move. Let us see what are the factors affecting momentum. Okay, so let us discuss an activity. Okay, for that you need two ice cream balls of same size and shape. Okay, fill one of the ball with sand. So now you are having two balls, two ice cream balls of same size and shape, and one ball is empty and the other ball is filled with sand. Okay, now take a wide tray filled with wet sand. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? അതായത് നിങ്ങളൊരു ട്രേ എടുക്കുക, ആ ട്രേയിൽ നമ്മൾ നനഞ്ഞ മണൽ നിറച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. Okay, imagine you are taking a white tray which is filled with wet sand and now you are having two ice cream balls. One ball is empty and the other one is filled with sand. Okay, so what you are going to do is you are going to drop these two balls into this tray of sand. Okay, you are dropping the two ice cream balls from the same height. What will happen? Or what can you observe in the tray of wet sand? We can see pit will be formed. Small pit. ചെറിയൊരു കുഴി വരും അല്ലേ നമ്മൾ ഈ ബോൾ ഇടുന്ന സമയത്ത്. We can see pit will be formed when these two balls are dropped. Now, can you tell me which ball creates deepest pit? ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ച് ആഴത്തിലുള്ള കുഴി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത് ഏത് ബോൾ ആയിരിക്കും? It's very easy to say, isn't it? Yes, the ball which is filled with sand. What is the reason for that? Or why the ball which is filled with sand creates deepest pit? Or which is the factor that creates more impact here? Yes, it is a mass, isn't it? Because the mass of the ice cream ball was more. That is the reason why it creates the deepest pit. So the first factor affecting momentum is mass. Is it clear? That is, these two balls are dropped from the same height, but the pit created by the ball which is filled with sand was more, or the impact created by that ball on that wet tray of sand was more because the mass of that ball was more. As mass increases, the impact also increases, or we can tell as mass increases, momentum also increases. Okay, അതങ്ങനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് വന്ന് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് കൂടുതലാണ്. So the momentum also increases. So the first factor affecting momentum is mass of the object. Is it clear? Now, let us discuss one more activity. Okay, for that you are taking 2 ice cream balls filled with sand. You are taking 2 identical ice cream balls of same size and shape, and you are filling both the ice cream balls with sand. Is it clear? അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ 2 ബോൾ ഉണ്ട്. ആ 2 ബോളിലും എന്ത് നിറച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്? മണലാണ് നിറച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കണം. Okay, and what you are going to do is you are going to drop these 2 balls from different heights. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ ഒരേ ഹൈറ്റിലായിരുന്നു ഈ ബോളുകൾ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നത് അല്ലേ? ഒരു എം ടി ബോളും ഒരു സാൻഡ് നിറച്ച ബോളും. ബട്ട് ഹിയർ യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ടു ഡ്രോപ്പ് ദ 2 ice cream balls which is filled with sand from different heights. Okay, one from a smaller height and the other from a greater height. Now, can you tell me which one will create the deepest pit? Both are having the same mass, isn't it? One is dropped from the smaller height and the other is dropped from the greater height. Which ball creates the deepest pit? Or whether they will make the pit similar? രണ്ട് ബോളും ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന പിറ്റ് സെയിം ആയിരിക്കും? അല്ല അല്ലേ? The impact created by the ball which is dropped from a greater height was more. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഹൈറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് വന്ന ബോളായിരിക്കും ഡീപ്പസ്റ്റ് പിറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുക. Here, what is the reason? Or what may be the reason that affects here? Yes, velocity. Okay, as velocity increases, momentum also increases. Here, these 2 balls are dropped from the different height. Okay, as height increases, what happens to velocity? Velocity also increases. Okay, as height increases, velocity also increases, and that is the reason why the ball that is dropped from a greater height creates deepest pit. Okay, so the second factor affecting momentum is velocity. Is it clear? The 2 factors affecting momentum are mass and velocity. So we can write like this: momentum is represented by the letter P. Okay, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Momentum is equal to mass into velocity, that is P is equal to mv, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. Okay, now can you tell me the unit of mass? Yes, the unit of mass is kilogram. And what is the unit of velocity? The unit of velocity is meter per second. So we can tell the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Okay, the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Now one question: whether this momentum will be a scalar quantity or vector quantity. Already you have studied in 8th standard what are scalar quantities and vector quantities, isn't it? Tell me, what are scalar quantities? Quantities that have only magnitude and no direction. Okay, quantities that have only magnitude but no direction are scalar quantities. But what is vector quantities? Quantities which have both magnitude and direction are known as vector quantities. So here, mass. Whether mass is a scalar quantity or vector quantity? Mass is a scalar quantity. What about velocity? Velocity is a vector quantity. Okay, therefore momentum is also a vector quantity. That is, it has both magnitude and direction. Is it clear what is momentum? So what is momentum? It is the characteristic feature of objects in motion. It is calculated as the product of mass and velocity, that is P is equal to mv. Okay, and the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, and momentum is a vector quantity. Is it clear? Okay, let us see how to calculate momentum. Already we know the formula for calculating momentum, isn't it? What is that? P is equal to mv. So we will discuss a problem now. Okay, look at this. A car travels at a velocity of 15 meter per second. The total mass of the car and the passengers in it is 1000 kg. Find the momentum of the car. Okay, so whenever you get a question, read the question nicely and write down the values given in that. Okay, see here, a car travels at a velocity of 15 meter per second. So here what is given? Velocity is given. V is equal to 15 meter per second. Okay, then what is given? The total mass of the car and the passengers in it is 1000 kg. So mass is given, the total mass is given. How much is the mass? M is equal to 1000 kg. Now what do you have to find out? Find the momentum of the car. How will you calculate momentum? What is the formula for momentum? P is equal to M. P is equal to mv. Okay, so how much is the mass given here? 1000. 1000 into velocity is 15. How much is 1000 into 15? 15,000. Okay, and what is the unit of momentum? Kilogram meter per second. So this is how you will calculate the momentum. 15,000 kilogram meter per second. So if mass and velocity is given, directly substitute in the formula, you will be getting the answer. Okay, after writing the answer, you have to write the unit. Always keep this in mind. Okay, for units also, there will be marks. Is it clear? So like this way, we can find out the momentum. Okay, now consider an object of mass m moving with a initial velocity u. Okay, so you are considering an object A. Okay, its mass is m and it is moving with an initial velocity u. Okay, so what happens is, adingane move kondirikana samayathu we are applying a force. Okay, so I am going to apply some force. So what will happen? A ball So what will happen to its velocity? Velocity changes, isn't it? That is, velocity increases. So after some time, what happens is its velocity changes to v. That is, when I applied some force, the velocity changes to v. What about its mass? Whether the mass of that object will change? No. It is having the same mass, but its velocity changes when a force was applied on it for t seconds. Korchu samayathekku adinte mele oru force apply cheyidu kaniyapo adinte velocity il change undayi. Now, can you tell me what was the initial momentum of that object? Initial momentum. Okay. Initial momentum. Initial momentum means first momentum, the momentum. How will you calculate momentum? Mass into velocity. So mass is m, and what was the velocity of that object? First, it was u. So mu. Is it clear? So the initial momentum of that object was mu. After some time, when a force was applied on it, what happens to its velocity? Velocity changes, isn't it? So when velocity changes, what happens to momentum? Momentum also changes. So the final momentum of that object, what will be the final momentum? Mass into final velocity. Okay, mv. So how will you calculate calculate change of momentum? Tell me. Change of momentum. Change of momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. That is mv minus mu. Understood how to calculate change of momentum? Change of momentum is equal to mv minus mu. Now, can you tell me what will be the rate of change of momentum? Rate. From the word itself it is clear. Rate means it is something related to time. Rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So, velocity by time. Isn't it? So, rate it is something related to time. So, can you tell me the formula for rate of change of momentum? Rate of change of momentum is equal to change of momentum by time. That is mv minus mu by t. Okay, mv minus mu by t, or we can write m is common. Mass change only velocity changes. So we can also write it as m into v minus u by t. Okay, rate of change of momentum is equal to m into v minus u by t. Is it clear? That is, that object was moving with a particular initial velocity. When force was applied on that object for t seconds, its velocity changes. Understand and study. Okay, ഒരു ബോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഉരുണ്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ മേലൊരു ഫോഴ്സ് കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ആ നേരത്തെ വെലോസിറ്റിയിലായിരിക്കില്ല ആ ബോൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്യുക. ഇറ്റ്സ് വെലോസിറ്റി ചേഞ്ചസ്. So, the formula to calculate initial momentum is mu, final momentum is mass into final velocity, change of momentum is final momentum minus initial momentum, and rate of change of momentum is change of momentum by time. That is mv minus mu by t. Since m is common or m is same, we can write m into v minus u by t. So, all these formulas you have to study. Is it clear? Class, we discussed about Newton's first law, isn't it? Newton's first law of motion defines force and inertia, isn't it? But how can we measure this force? This is explained in Newton's second law of motion. We have already told you, when a moving body is given some force, what happens to its velocity? There is a change in velocity, isn't it? So, we can define Newton's second law of motion as the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced external force acting on it. Okay, once again. The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced external force acting on it. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഒരു external force കൊടുക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് what happens? There is a change in momentum, and the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to this force acting on that object. So now can you tell me the formula for the rate of change of momentum? We have already told m into v minus u by t, isn't it? This was the formula to calculate the rate of change of momentum. And according to Newton's second law, this rate of change of momentum is directly proportional. This is a symbol for proportional. Okay, is directly proportional to what? Unbalanced external force acting on it. What is meant by directly proportional? That is, when force increases, what happens to the rate of change of momentum? Rate of change of momentum also increases. Okay, ഒരെണ്ണം കൂടുമ്പോൾ മറ്റേതും കൂടുക. അതാണ് directly proportional. അതിൻ്റെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ എന്തായിരിക്കും? ഒരെണ്ണം ഒരു ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി, അതായത് ഫോഴ്സ് കൂടുമ്പോൾ ഇപ്പുറത്ത് കുറയുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയും? ദേ ആർ ഇൻവേഴ്സ്ലി പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ. ഓക്കെ, സോ study this formula so you can state that law very easily. Okay, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced external force acting on that object. Okay, but we will never say an equation with proportionality sign. അല്ലേ? പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ വെച്ചിട്ടൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് നമ്മൾ ഇക്വേഷൻസ് ഒന്നും പറയില്ല. So we have to remove this proportionality sign. How we will remove this proportionality sign? By multiplying it with a constant. That is, F is equal to K into M into V minus U by T. ഓക്കെ, അതായത് ഈ പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണാലിറ്റി സൈൻ നമ്മൾ മാറ്റണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വി ഹാവ് ടു മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ with a constant. So here I have used the letter K, where K is known as the proportionality constant. Okay, so look at here. What is this V minus U by T? Already have studied. V minus U by T is the formula for finding out the acceleration. Okay, so we can write it as F is equal to K into ma. Okay, where a stands for the acceleration and the formula to find out acceleration is v minus u by t. Clear ആയോ? അതായത് ഇവിടെ v minus u by t ക്ക് പകരം നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? a എഴുതുകയാണ്. So the formula becomes F is equal to K into ma. The value of K is 1. What is the value of K? 1. So F is equal to 1 into ma. That is, F is equal to ma. This is the formula to find out force. Okay, F is equal to ma, where m is the mass and a is the acceleration of that object. Second law gives us the formula for finding out the force. And what is the formula for force? F is equal to ma. And how can we define Newton's second law? The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced external force. Okay, നമ്മൾ ഫോഴ്സ് കൊടുക്കുന്നതനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് rate of change of momentum changes. Okay, and the formula is F is equal to ma. So you have to study this formula nicely because there will be problems based on this formula. Is it clear how to find out the force acting on an object? F is equal to ma. And what is the unit of force? Yes, the unit of force is Newton. Unit of force is Newton, represented by the letter N, capital N. Okay, so tell me, how can you define 1 Newton? Or what is 1 Newton? 1 Newton is the force required to produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square on a body of mass 1 kg. അതായത് 1 kg മാസ്സുള്ള ഒരു ബോഡിയെ 1 meter per second square ആക്സിലറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എത്ര ഫോഴ്സ് കൊടുക്കണം? We have to apply a force of 1 Newton. So once again, what is 1 Newton? 1 Newton is the force required for a body to produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square on a body of mass 1 kg. Okay, and what is the unit of force? The unit of force is Newton. Now, let us do a problem to find out the force. Okay, read the question. A car moving with a speed of 108 km per hour comes to rest after 4 seconds on applying brake. അതായത് ഒരു കാറ് നല്ല സ്പീഡിൽ പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ബ്രേക്ക് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ what happens? The car comes to rest. If the mass of the car, including the passengers, is 1000 kg, what will be the force applied when brake is applied? Okay, so what all things are given here? The speed, initial speed of that car is given. Initial velocity is given. Initial velocity. That is, U is given. How much? 108 kilometer per hour. Usually, we will be explaining this velocity in terms of meter per second, isn't it? So here it is kilometer per hour. You have to convert it into meter per second. So how will you convert? 108 into how many meters makes 1 kilometer? 1000 meters, isn't it? 1000 by how many? How will you convert hours to second? 60 into 60. Okay. How much? You will get 30 meter per second. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ 1000/60 into 60ക്ക് പകരം 5/18 വെച്ച് ചെയ്താലും മതി. ഓക്കെ, അതായത് 108 into 5/18 വെച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് ഈ ആൻസർ കിട്ടും. Okay, so this 30 meter per second. Now, what happens? What is the final velocity of that car? When the brake was applied, what will happen to the car? The car comes to rest. So, the final velocity V is equal to 0. Okay, and time is given. How much is the time? Time is equal to 4 seconds. So we can calculate force, isn't it? That is, F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. Here acceleration is not given. You have to find out acceleration. How much is the acceleration? A is equal to V minus U by T. Okay, that is, what is the final velocity of that car? 0. 0 minus 30/4. That is minus 30/4. You got the acceleration as minus 30/4 meter per second square. Minus 30/4 meter per second square. Acceleration is minus. What is this? What will you call the negative acceleration? It is retardation, because finally the car comes to rest. Isn't it? So we can substitute here. How much is the mass of that car? 1000. 1000 into minus 30/4. 4 and 1000 get cancelled. How much? 250. That is 250 into minus 30, which is equal to minus 7500. How much? This much Newton. Minus 7500 Newton. Why? We are going to stop the car. നമുക്കറിയാം, മൂവ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് സൈഡിൽ ഫോഴ്സ് കൊടുക്കണം അല്ലേ? ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ റീസൺ വൈ വി ആർ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് മൈനസ് സൈൻ. That is, the force is to be applied in the opposite direction. Okay, so hope you understood how to calculate force, mass into acceleration. If acceleration is not given, you have to find out acceleration using the formula V minus U by T. Okay, so we have understood how to calculate force, isn't it? And we have also discussed about Newton's second law of motion. Now it's a new topic, impulse. Have you heard of this term, impulse? Impulsive force. Do you know what is impulsive force? Impulsive force is a very large force acting for a very short time. Okay, what is impulsive force? It's a very large force acting for a short time. Impulsive force is the product of force and time. That is, impulse is equal to force into time. Okay, so once again, what is impulsive force? It is a very large force acting for a short period of time. See, consider a iron nail hitting with a hammer. Okay, ഒരു ആണി നമ്മൾ ചുറ്റിക വെച്ച് തല്ലുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണത്? ലാർജ് ഫോഴ്സ് ആണ്, പക്ഷേ ആ തല്ലുന്ന സമയത്ത് കുറച്ച് സമയത്തേക്കാണ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ലാർജ് ഫോഴ്സ് ആക്ടിങ് ഫോർ എ ഷോർട്ട് ടൈം. ദാറ്റ് That is impulsive force. You are hitting a nail with a hammer. That is an example for impulsive force. Okay, and how will you calculate impulsive force? Impulse of force is equal to force into time. That is, impulse is equal to F into T. Okay, F into T. So can you tell me the unit of impulsive force? What is the unit of force? Unit of force is Newton. And what is the unit of time? It is second. So the unit of impulsive force or impulse is equal to Newton second. Okay, understood the unit of impulse? It is Newton second. Now, can you tell me the formula for Newton's second law of motion? That is the relation connecting mass, velocity and time. I have told in the beginning itself. What is that? F is equal to or F proportional to m into v minus u by t. Isn't it? This is how we have written the formula in the beginning. That is F is equal to m into v minus u by t. What we are going to do is we are going to substitute the value of F in this equation. Let this be 1. Okay, that is we are going to substitute the value of F in equation 1. So what happens? Tell me. Impulse is equal to Fന് പകരം ഈ വാല്യൂ എഴുതുക. എന്താവും ഇത്? m into v minus u by t into t. Is it clear? That is, instead of this F, we are writing in terms of mass, velocity and time. Fന് പകരം ഈ വാല്യൂ, Fൻ്റെ ഈ വാല്യൂ അവിടെ കൊടുക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ Fന് വരെ m into v minus u by t. ബാക്കി എന്താ ഉള്ളത്? t. So it get cancelled. T and T get cancelled. Impulse is equal to mv minus mu. We are multiplying with the common term. So impulse is equal to mv minus mu. What is this mv minus mu? ഏതിൻ്റെ ഫോർമുല ആയിരുന്നു mv minus mu? Change of momentum, isn't it? So we can write impulse is equal to change of momentum. Impulse is equal to change of momentum. Is it clear? So impulse is equal to change of momentum. Okay, this is known as impulse momentum principle. It states that a change in momentum is equal to the impulse experienced by it. Once again, impulse momentum principle states that a change of momentum is equal to the impulse experienced by it. Okay, suppose the change of momentum is a constant. Constant ആയിട്ടാണ് അത് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യണത് ഇരിക്കട്ടെ. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് എഴുതാം? Impulse, that is F into T is equal to a constant. Okay, if the change of momentum is a constant, we can write it as F into T is equal to a constant. Okay, so what will be F? A constant by T. Okay, or we can write F is inversely proportional to time. അത് കോൺസ്റ്റന്റ് ആണ്, അത് ചേഞ്ച് ആവുന്നില്ല, ബൈ ടി ആണ്. So what is the relation between time and impulse? That is, F is inversely proportional to time. So we can tell as time increases, what happens to impulsive force? Impulsive force decreases. Inversely proportional പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ? ഒരെണ്ണം കൂടുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മറ്റേത് കുറയും. Clear ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? F is inversely proportional to T. So as time increases, impulsive force decreases. So when the change of momentum is a constant, the force is inversely proportional to the time. Okay, so as force increases, time decreases, or when time increases, force decreases. Can you give me such situations where this is applicable? You all like cricket, isn't it? Some boys will be very much interested in playing and girls will be watching. Now it's IPL time. You will be watching cricket, isn't it? See, you might have seen when a cricketer takes a catch, how he will move his hand. He will move his hand backwards. He will take the catch and will move his hand backwards. ഇങ്ങനെ പിടിച്ചുകൊണ്ടാണോ ഇരിക്കുക? അല്ല. Why he is moving his hand backwards? That is, when he move his hand backwards, the time taken by the ball to come to rest increases. That is, ഈ കൈയിനോടൊപ്പം this ball is also in a motion state. Okay, so the time taken by the ball to come to rest increases. Time കൂടുകയാണ്. Time കൂടുമ്പോൾ what happens to force? Force decreases. ആ ഫോഴ്സ് കുറയുകയാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ആ കയ്യിലെ വേദന കുറവായിരിക്കും. ആ ഫോഴ്സ് കുറവായിരിക്കും എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ചെയ്യുക. So what happens? The pain will be less. For that reason, the cricketers draw their hand backwards while taking a catch. So once again, when a cricketer takes a catch, he draw his hand backwards. Why he is doing like that? That is, when he move his hand backwards, along with his hand, the ball is also in the state of motion. Okay, along with the hand, the ball is also moving. So the time taken by the ball to come to rest increases. പെട്ടെന്ന് ആ ബോൾ റെസ്റ്റിൽ വിട്ട് വരുന്നില്ല, കൈയിനോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ആ ബോളും മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്റ്റേറ്റിലാണ്. So the time increases. So when the time increases, what happens to force? They are inversely proportional. So the force decreases and the impact produced by the ball on the hand decreases. That is, the pain will be less. ആ പെയിൻ കുറയ്ക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് the cricketers move their hand backwards while taking a catch. Let us see one more example. Vault jump. അല്ലേ, ഒരു വടിയിൽ കുത്തിയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ചാടണത് കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും അല്ലേ ടി വിയിലൊക്കെ. That person will be jumping on a foam bed. ആണോ? അതെന്താ അവിടെ ബെഡിലൊക്കെ പോയി വീണത്? സാധാ തറയിൽ വീണാൽ പോരെ? Why they are falling on this foam bed? That is, when they jump onto the foam bed, along with the bed, their body also continues in its motion state. അതായത് ആ ബോഡി പെട്ടെന്ന് റെസ്റ്റിലോട്ട് വരുന്നില്ല. നമ്മുടെ കോൺക്രീറ്റ് ഫ്ലോർ ആണെങ്കിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് റെസ്റ്റിലോട്ട് വരും അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെ ഇതങ്ങനെയല്ല, മെല്ലെ താണു പോയിട്ടാണ് റെസ്റ്റിലോട്ട് വരുന്നത്. So the time taken by the body to come to rest increases. Is it clear? So when the time increases, what happens to the force? Force decreases and the impact decreases. So they will not feel the pain. മനസ്സിലാവുണ്ടോ? ആ പെയിൻ കുറയ്ക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക? They are jumping on a foam bed. Okay, so find out more examples for this type of force. Okay, നമുക്ക് ചുറ്റും നോക്കിയാൽ തന്നെ കാണാം. ഈ സിമെൻറ്റ് ട്രേസ് ഒക്കെ ഈ പണിക്കാർ പാസ് ചെയ്യണ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇങ്ങനെ അല്ലേ, ബ്രിക്സ് ഒക്കെ പാസ് ചെയ്യണത് ഇങ്ങനെ എറിയും, അവരിങ്ങനെ പിടിക്കും, ഇങ്ങനെ എറിയും അല്ലേ? അതെന്തിനാണ് അങ്ങനെ കൈ ഇങ്ങനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്യണത്? അവിടെ ആരെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ ഇങ്ങനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ല അല്ലേ? So why they are doing like that? To reduce the pain. So it is clear what is impulsive force? It's a large force acting for a short time. And what is the formula for impulsive force? F into T. And the unit of impulsive force is Newton second. Today, first we discussed about momentum, isn't it? It is a characteristic feature of objects in motion. And what is the formula for momentum? P is equal to mv and the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Then we found the formula for initial momentum, final momentum, change of momentum and rate of change of momentum. Then we discussed about Newton's second law of motion. It states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced external force acting on it. That is, as force increases, the rate of change of momentum also increases. They are directly proportional. And we found out the formula for calculating force, that is F is equal to ma. And the last topic was impulsive force or impulse. What is impulse? It's a large force acting for a short time. And what was the formula for impulse? Impulse is equal to force into time. The unit of impulse is Newton second. And we discuss some of the examples related to that. So go through the class. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. See you in the next class with a new topic.